Mm, mm, mm. And we're back.
Welcome back, people.
On my screen.
Episode 7.
You're correct.
More movies have been digested.
We ate them up.
They're going to be discussed right now.
Yeah, man. So, what do you want to discuss first? I give you a chef's choice this week.
Let's start with your suggestion.
Okay. Yeah. You want to know why I gave you this movie?
I would love to know why, yes.
Okay. So, when I was a kid, my mom used to take me to the library. And one day we're at the library, and I said, "Oh, shit, they got movies too?" You know, they had VHS tapes. So this is like one of the first tapes I brought home. I thought it was a horror movie, and I did not know it was a Mel Brooks movie.
You didn't know who that was?
I had no fucking idea. I knew Leslie Nielsen from like Lethal Gun, whatever it's called. Naked Gun, yeah. Okay. So, and I immediately loved it. I was like, this is the goofiest shit I've ever seen.
So, Dracula, Dead and Loving It?
Dracula, Dead and Loving It,
You know the year?
Like 96, maybe.
I think it was 96, okay.
Yeah. So what'd you feel? What'd you think about it? I feel like I tortured you with this movie.
Honestly, so since our last episode, since we've been doing these, I haven't watched that many. I haven't watched any movies outside of the movies we've talked about.
Right.
Which is kind of bad, but so yeah.
Hitting you with them stinkers.
I kind of would have preferred like a more straight like horror movie, you know. But
okay.
I mean, from the title, you kind of know, and from Mel Brooks. Even though I actually haven't seen any Mel Brooks, I just realized, like, talking to you, I kind of know, like, certain trivia about him, but I don't think I've seen, like, Young Frankenstein or...
Yeah, Blazing Saddles. And
and I think I would have preferred to have seen, like, one of those first, but...
Okay.
It's not the worst movie I've ever seen, you know what I mean? It has some things that are likable.
It's got some charm, I think.
Yeah.
I think it has great, like bits.
It's very campy, you know what I mean? And it's like,
oh yeah,
you kind of have to. You can't really blame it for that because it's like
it's supposed to be that way.
You know what I mean? It's like we're making a campy.
It's not
movie.
trying.
Yeah,
you know,
it's not trying to be like super scary.
No.
It's trying to be funny, but yeah, I didn't hate it. It has a lot of things that were funny and like kind of seeing your enthusiasm for it kind of makes me enjoy it a little bit more, I guess.
Oh, that's great. That's lovely.
But yeah.
I was the extra sauce you needed. Yeah, I felt like because I thought I was under the impression you didn't want to see any more horror movies. So I was like, man, keeping with the theme of like October and horror movies, I'm gonna throw them a little left field movie.
Yeah, it was cool.
Okay.
Very over the top performances.
Leslie Nielsen, man, how about that guy?
He was very funny in it as the Count Dracula.
He's also in an episode of Columbo.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna talk about Columbo. It's one of my co-host's favorite shows.
Goddamn right.
I've seen like half of one episode with him, and I really like Peter Falk. I saw him in Woman Under the Influence recently.
I still got to see that.
I think that'll be a good episode where I recommend you Woman Under the Influence and you maybe like 2 or 3 episodes of Columbo.
Yeah.
But anyways, back to the movie at hand.
Dracula, Dead and Loving It. So how do you feel on the score side of it? If you had to give it some, you know, based on like,
I would say like
would you recommend this to someone?
I'd say like a 65.
Hey, that's respectable.
Yeah, like it's worth watching. You know what I mean? It's not so campy that it's like annoying, but
to me, this is like a little less campy than an Ernest movie.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I think I would have preferred to have seen like Young Frankenstein first, or not maybe Spaceballs, but what's his Blazing Saddles?
Blazing Saddles.
That's like the classic one.
Yeah, we can do that one day.
But yeah, I'm glad I watched it. It was. Do you have a favorite scene from it? I know it's like a movie that's near to you.
I love Renfield when he's, like I said, that scene where he's being examined by the doctor in the garden, and he's just eating bugs left and right.
Oh yeah.
And he keeps denying it, and to the point where he clearly eats a spider in front of the man. He
Yeah.
got the leg hanging out his mouth, and it was
Yeah.
twitching.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, he's like, "Are you hungry?" And I'm famished. That's one of my favorite scenes. Like,
I got a little bit of the doctor. Let me see.
ooh.
Put him in a straight jacket and give him an enema.
The enema thing,
Yeah.
he kept. Yeah, I love. That's another running gag in the movie.
Yeah.
And the fushta scene, that was great too.
I actually got.
Fushta!
He's like, I see you study of the ancient language. Yes.
Yeah. Mel Brooks is pretty cool. I know this one. This is gonna kind of go in a different direction, but he actually produced Elephant Man,
Yeah.
and a lot of people kind of have asked him, for one, it's not a comedy at all. You know what I mean? It's a very serious movie, and I think he maybe could have directed it, but he didn't want to because people expect comedy out of him. But he produced it. And he got David Lynch to direct it. Mm-hmm. And I saw this video where he was kind of talking about how he liked David Lynch because when he saw Eraserhead, he saw a guy who like did abstract stuff, but in a very clear way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he knew that he could make like this very serious movie about, this terribly deformed person. I always thought that was really cool. Like,
That's a good piece of trivia.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not really necessarily related to Dracula.
It's related because
Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks,
Yeah.
son Max Brooks, writer of World War Z. Actually,
I did not know that until you told me. That's very cool.
Yeah, I give it about 60. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
65. It's not the greatest movie in the world, folks. It's one of what I like to call good ass movies. You know, you got small stories. I got good ass movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fushta!
Fushta. Let's move on to our second movie.
Yes.
Tell me lies, tell me secrets and lies.
Yes, I recommend it. Was it 1996?
Yep, Secrets and Lies.
Lies, directed by Mike Lee.
Mike Lee, who? Mike Lee.
Yeah, that's him.
Why did you shoot this my way? Do you think?
So this is one of my favorite movies. So I was just like, yeah, you got to see it. I knew you hadn't seen any Mike Lee. I've seen at this point 3 of his movies: Secrets and Lies, Abigail's Party, which is kind of a play, but I think there's like a film version, and then Naked, which is also pretty cool. I like Abigail's Party too. Abigail's Party I like a little bit more than Naked, but yeah, I like this movie. I think it's kind of like one of the ultimate dysfunctional family movies.
Oh, hell yeah.
And just kind of like his approach. Like I didn't rewatch it. I should have rewatched it, but it's a pretty simple plot, you know what I mean? And I kind of thought we could talk about it with just you having seen it. I watched like some interviews that the main 2 ladies and Mike Lee did on Charlie Rose. That was really interesting.
Okay.
What did you think of it before I go into that?
I gotta tell you, boy, you got me on this one, boy. Oh, you got me. Man, this movie was amazing. This was a great movie. And this is the first movie you've recommended. It got me, you son of a bitch. Towards the end, tears started coming out, bro.
Wow.
Started juicing your boy. Started pruning me up, you know what I mean? Because I was like, man, this is so relatable.
Yeah.
You know? It's relatable. It's real. It feels very real. It feels very real.
Yes.
And you feel it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
so yeah, what I was about to say right before
it's pretty good.
is like from what I was watching today, and Mike Lee, what he does with actors is they do a lot of, they call it improvisation, but it's like he basically tries to, with an actor, he'll like create the character with the actor. Mm-hmm. And
so they have like motivation.
Yeah, like like they know everything about this person. It kind of almost sounds like method acting, but it's like him and the person like, okay, so what would he do in this situation, or like how would he respond to this, like stuff that's not even in the movie, just like building this a whole world for this person that they're going to be. But then something kind of crazy, I don't know to what extent like they would like I guess do the scenes, but one of the trivia things is that they didn't meet before. It says filming, but I think they did like they do like rehearsals before they film. But like I'm guessing for like that initial rehearsal, they didn't like going in. They didn't know, oh, it's gonna be
A black
about my black daughter. You know what I mean? It's just gonna be this. It's gonna be about a scene. So like the first time they did it, they didn't actually like know each other.
Right. Oh, okay.
And like even in that Charlie Rose, she was like, "Oh yeah, I was thinking it was gonna be this other actress." You know what I mean? Because I saw like in the casting sheets, she was being considered. So like, I guess like, dedication to the project is kind of like what comes across.
Yeah.
With stuff like that, you know what I mean?
It adds to it, I would say, because I can tell with the character of Cynthia,
The mom,
like the mom, like at the end, you know why she's so mouse-like, and she has this preoccupied thought with like babies, and that's why she gets on Maurice's wife Jane, because she's like, you know, she's fucking selfish. She not giving my brother any babies, and
yeah, she's just always saying the wrong thing. You know what I mean?
yeah. But knowing that she went through some trauma, apparently,
Yeah.
when she went through another version of trauma with what's her daughter's name? Her white daughter's name?
Roxanne.
Roxanne's dad just up and leaving. You know,
Yeah. That scene at the end where like
it's powerful.
where she like asks about her dad and she's just like, "Oh,
Don't break my heart."
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's powerful.
And like I was kind of trying to find the scene where they're all like eating. I did find the scene where she finally reveals who Hortense is at the table. That's on YouTube. Don't watch any of the scenes if you haven't seen the movie. Don't
gotta
even
see the
listen to
movie.
this. If you, with all the things that we talk about, go watch the movie. Of course,
Gotta see
is
this
like
one.
a little companion piece. But yeah, like when I wanted to see that scene again where they're like where Maurice is like serving the food and they're kind of like asking about who Hortense is and all that.
We work in the factory.
Yeah.
You work on the same machine? No.
Yeah, and she's like, she's an optometrist, like at the factory. Like, yeah, she checks all her eyes.
If I could tell you one thing I liked at the end was Hortense and Roxanne's chemistry towards the end, where like they look like sisters at the end when they're sitting there looking at all that junk. Hortense just looks like a little girl to me.
Oh yeah, I forget. Like they kind of do come together.
They soften
Okay,
them up a
yeah.
little bit, like
I should've
Roxanne
rewatched it.
smiling.
Oh man, I messed up and didn't. I should have rewatched
It's
it.
good, man. It's good. She's smiling, and Hortense looks like a little, like a little girl. Like she's, like my sister. You know what I mean?
I actually did get. Let me see.
Secrets and lies. Secrets and lies.
He did the thing. He
I
said
always
it.
love that.
Secrets and what about Maurice, man? He was
Yeah.
like, we share all our pain. Why not share our pain?
Oh, I should have got that too. But
Man.
I didn't even think about kind of the element of him being a photographer. You know what I mean? And like how it's kind of about how we want to portray ourselves versus like what we really are. And like some of the scenes where like he has like the clients and it's like a perfect looking couple and they take the picture and after it's over it's just like, ooh.
She's like, take your glasses off. Take your glasses. Well, take the cross off. You're like, I told you to get gold. You got silver. Yeah. They're like dysfunctional, but for that split second, everything looks okay.
And I actually saw in the trivia that like pretty much a lot of the photography subjects were actors that he had worked with before and other projects and stuff like that. Nice little tie-in.
Okay.
I saw that Brenda, I'm not exactly sure, Blythen, who played the mom.
Okay. Oh yeah, played Cynthia.
She was nominated and won. She won the BAFTA Best Actress, and she was
Yeah.
nominated for
I seen
Academy Award Best Actress, but she didn't win.
I seen the BAFTA award. Yeah.
Yeah.
She deserves it in this because it's crazy, man. I was gonna tell you, like, I felt like the movie was droning for a minute, But when I got to the end, I realized like, oh no, we just spent a lot of time with these characters,
So
you can understand,
you understand like exactly what it is.
right, where they're all coming from at the
Yeah.
end. You know what I mean? And
I was gonna say Mike Lee is kind of known for British, normal people type movies.
slice of life type
And
shit.
Roger Ebert gave this movie 4 out of 4 stars. And there was a nice little quote on the wiki article, but in summation, he basically said it's about ordinary people dealing with ordinary problems.
Yeah, I would say yeah.
And
It's real. It feels real.
And I feel like anything that kind of deals with family dysfunction is like instantly relatable because everyone has something, you know what I mean? It might
Yeah.
not be that you're adopted or whatever, but there's something in your family, you know what I mean? Like, there's no perfect family. You know?
No, not at all. And what's funny, a lot of people didn't know that you can have like a white mom but look
Yeah.
majority black.
Yeah.
It does happen.
Yeah. And even just like that scene where she's like, where they meet in the restaurant or whatever, and she kind of reveals it to her.
She's like, "No, I'm not weirded out because you're black. I'm weirded out because I thought you died.
Yeah.
or I thought you were a boy or something like that."
No, I think it's just that she thought like maybe that was a one night stand type situation. You know what I mean?
Or she was assaulted. We don't really know.
Well, I was watching the interview. I don't think
Oh,
it was
okay.
necessarily that she was assaulted.
Okay, I
But-
did see. Yeah,
Because it's kind of
Michael
a
Saylor. something
there's kind of a point where I think she realizes like, oh, it was from that. You know what I mean? Like, she thought like, and maybe she just didn't even see the baby that she gave up,
It
or,
blotted out. Maybe she like.
or even a lot of like black babies look white when they're real young. You know what I mean?
It could be
But-
that. I think
Dude,
it was such a
I love-
traumatic event. She just
I was gonna
forgot
say
it.
too. One thing that I distinctly kind of like about this movie is it's very British. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah.
the way that it deals with it is not American. You know what I mean? Like the way that they're just like when she's kind of like discovering who her mom really is, and she's like, it says she's a white person. And she's like, well, it's possible. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
and that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of not about the fact that, I mean, it is, but it isn't. You know what I mean?
I didn't get a hint of like
It's not about the
The
race,
race
thing.
of
It's
it,
about
yeah.
like the family
the
dynamic. And
yeah.
very cool movie.
Very great movie. Great movie. And
Yeah.
it fucking got me. You son of a gun. You finally did it. What would you give it, man? I'm giving it a 95.
Secrets alive.
I might even give it 100.
Secrets alive.
I give it 100.
Yeah, I really
gonna do
like
it.
it.
Any movie that made me tear up, man. This is a good ass movie, man.
I don't know why. I don't want to say it's a perfect movie, but I'm gonna give it a 95 out of 100.
Goddamn right, you better do it. You goddamn right. Fushta, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, this
So
is
this
an
was like
amazing
a-
movie.
yeah. I like the contrast of the type of movies that we have in this episode. But yeah, hopefully you'll be excited to watch Abigail's Party. It's the thing that I really like about that. It's like you said, it's kind of a play. I guess it was a play first. I guess he comes from the theater world.
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah, that one mostly takes place in one room. And it's kind of like even more minimal. You know what I mean? Like
White Tyler Perry.
there's a couple. I didn't mean it like that, but yeah, I always like when there's like either a long scene or like a whole movie like in one location. You know what I mean? Just like a couple characters working out one type of situation, and like actually recommended it to someone, and they were like, I think they were saying they didn't like it because it was kind of like, it was like too claustrophobic, you know, like all the tension is
Okay.
just like in this room, and it's like you're in there with it, you know what I mean? And it's you don't cut to another location or like scene to like release it,
I
you
get
know what
what
I
you're
mean?
saying, but
But
I would like to see it.
yeah, we'll probably talk about that one in another episode, and
Put it on the screen,
yeah,
on my screens.
until next time.
Until next time.
Stop! Quicksand's alive.
Should be
Put him in a straitjacket and give him an enema.